Young and the Restless. Phyllis's ruthless blackmail seduces Kane. Steamy betrayal? So, what we've got right now is Kane is super furious with Victor Newman, Eric Braden, for unleashing his own AI program on Kane's company. So now, of course, he's desperate to save Arabesque from Victor, but Kane's tech guys say they can't figure out how to activate the kill switch and shut the AI down. We saw Phyllis was recently telling Kane that it's not too late to save the company. And Phyllis was saying like she's still in this with him, like they're still cohorts, you know. But Kane thinks maybe this is all karma, and he deserves it for even creating the AI and all the other things he's done. But Phyllis disagrees. Plus, if Kane gives up on Arabesque, Phyllis is out of a job, or she's acting that way because she asked Victor to give her jabot. So realistically, Phyllis doesn't need a job from Kane. Phyllis and Victor's shaky alliance exposed on YandR. Phyllis is still pretending to be an ally of Kane's. She is lying about taking that AI, and she's clearly still really hot for him. So after running into Kane this week, we saw Phyllis go and confront Victor, and said that him attacking Kane's company with the AI was not their deal. But Victor doesn't care. He kind of taunts Phyllis and says they are not partners, and he can do what he wants. Victor also said that their only agreement was that Phyllis would get jabot after he took it from Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. And Victor insists that he still plans to honor that. But he also wants to know why the heck does Phyllis even care that he's attacking Kane's company. And Victor reminds Phyllis, writes her that reality check, that she's the one who royally screwed Kane over by stealing the AI from him. So Victor's asking Phyllis, why do you even care about what I'm doing to Kane? Victor also tells Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, this week what he's doing to Kane. And she doesn't care. She thinks it's great. She's probably not going to like it when he wants to aim it at jabot, but for now at Kane, she's fine with it. Unraveling Phyllis's true motives and risky betrayal. So, Phyllis stole the AI, I think, because she was really annoyed that Kane wouldn't use it like he said he would to attack Newman Enterprises. I don't think she cared if he attacked the other companies in town. She just wanted Newman and Chancellor by extension to go down. If you remember, Phyllis told Kane she wanted to take over Newman, and she wanted Victor to be working for her, to be answering for her. So Phyllis's whole thing was about punishing Victor. Not about Jack, not about jabot, So either it's sloppy writing on Young and the Restless, or she had this long con planned out, Right now what it looks like is that Phyllis did one of her crazy impulsive things, got PO'd and stole the AI, and then she handed it to Victor thinking she could trust him, which is insane to ever think that. And I don't think Phyllis ever wanted Victor to target Kane with it. Phyllis was relying on Victor's hatred of Jack to have him attack jabot, which again doesn't make a lot of sense. It's dumb because Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, will be furious with Phyllis since her company Marchetti is part of jabot and Summer cares about the Abbotts. And I'm sure Victor wouldn't let Marchetti be destroyed or taken from Summer. Nonetheless though, she'd still be furious at Phyllis for betraying the Abbotts and helping Victor. Phyllis's master plan on Young and the Restless, saving Arabesque to win over Kane. So, in the end, I think Phyllis may realize she needs to stop the AI before this goes any further. And she may think that she can still get what she wants, which at this point is Kane. Because really, it's not that Phyllis wants Kane to lose his company. I don't think Phyllis does. I think she wants to run the company with Kane. And I think Phyllis not only wants to be at his side in business, but also I think she wants to be sleeping on a pillow next to Kane and to be romantically and intimately involved with him as well. She's fixated, and she has been even before she knew it was him. Even back with the Dumas stuff, she already had it in her head. Young and the Restless, Phyllis is the key to saving Arabesque. So because Phyllis started all this, I do think she can fix it and end it. I suspect that she might have been playing Victor from the start, and maybe has always had access to the kill switch. Phyllis knew about that. She also knew about the ability to remotely control the AI, which Kane told her he was planning to do when he was going to have Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, using it instead of him. In the end, I suspect Phyllis didn't give Victor complete control of the AI. I think she handed it over to see what was going to happen, and I think she can access it through a back door, or can activate the kill switch. Kane's IT team is having a hard time, but Phyllis is, the mastermind behind all this. She's a brilliant hacker. She was clever enough to steal Kane's AI. And I also think Phyllis is clever enough to shut it down, to have left herself some kind of emergency exit, a way to pull the plug because she knows better than anyone Victor cannot be trusted. The ultimate price. Will Phyllis blackmail her way into Kane's life? However, I think Phyllis will dangle the offer to stop this and save Arabesque to Kane, but it's going to come with a price. And I think it might be a pretty high price that Phyllis demands of Kane. You know, he's been dancing around with Phyllis for a while, flirting and teasing, almost kissing, but at the end of the day, Kane's still hung up on Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. His ex-wife told Kane they're never getting back together. And we know Crystal Khalil is leaving soon on maternity leave. So Lily will exit Genoa City. So Phyllis may tell Kane she'll save his company, but in exchange, Phyllis gets Kane. And let's be real, Phyllis is not above blackmailing her way into Kane's bed. Phyllis is ruthless on Young and the Restless. Because remember, Phyllis drugged men before to get her way. That's what she did to Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, way back in the day, and then convinced him she was pregnant with his child. When she needed a DNA sample from the real biodad to fool Danny, she drugged that guy, drugged her actual baby daddy, and took a sample. So, Phyllis doesn't have really any scruples when it comes to getting what she wants, the man she wants, the end goal, whatever. So yeah, she might leverage Kane into being with her if she saves him from bankruptcy, which is insane because Phyllis has caused all of this. Kane's dilemma, his company versus his relationship with Lily. And if Kane gives in to Phyllis, he's going to alienate Lily, put the final nail in the coffin with them. If Kane sleeps with Phyllis, I don't think Lily would ever look at him the same again. And even if Kane tells Lily Phyllis blackmailed him, I don't think Lily would be sympathetic. She may just think Kane is prostituting himself to keep the company that he built off funds his dad Colin built from a dying old lady. So later this week, spoilers say Lily catches Phyllis and Kane in a compromising position. So, this might be when Phyllis offers Kane her deal, and maybe Phyllis demands a down payment. She wants a kiss from Kane, wants that first installment to make sure he's going to follow through before she stops. Is about to erupt with scandal, heartbreak, and steamy tension as Phyllis Summers steps into uncharted territory, and no one will see it coming. What started as a calculated maneuver to protect her secrets has now escalated into a web of seduction, blackmail, and betrayal that could shatter lives, reputations, and even marriages. At the center of it all is Kane Ashby, and the city is holding its breath to see how far he will fall. Phyllis has always been a master manipulator. From romantic entanglements to corporate intrigue, she knows how to twist situations to her advantage. But recently, her ambitions have grown darker. A secret that could ruin her career and her carefully crafted life has surfaced, and she's realized she has only one way to control it: leverage. That leverage comes in the form of Kane Ashby, a man whose loyalty, charm, and susceptibility to temptation make him the perfect target. It began innocuously enough. Kane had been reviewing documents for Brash and Sassy, trying to ensure the company stayed afloat amid Victor Newman's latest corporate onslaught. Phyllis, who had been quietly monitoring the chaos, noticed a vulnerable Kane, stressed, overworked, and isolated. With her signature cunning, she made her move, presenting Kane with a situation that appeared to require immediate discretion. A file, a hint, a whisper of impropriety. Phyllis's blackmail was subtle yet potent. She hinted that if Kane didn't comply with her demands, sensitive information might slip into the wrong hands, threatening his professional integrity and personal life alike. But Phyllis didn't anticipate how intoxicating the power dynamic would become. What began as manipulation quickly evolved into something more electric. Kane, a man who prides himself on integrity and loyalty, found himself caught off guard by the mix of fear and attraction. Phyllis's calculated audacity and seductive confidence ignited a spark that neither could ignore. Late-night meetings in dimly lit offices became charged encounters, full of tension and unspoken desire. Every glance, every word carried the weight of both threat and promise. Kane's resolve wavered, and the lines between obligation and temptation blurred dangerously. The betrayal wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Kane has always valued honesty and trust, particularly with his family. But Phyllis's influence began to erode his moral compass. She played to his ego, flattered his decision-making, and whispered reassurances that made him feel needed, wanted, and in control. Yet, every step deeper into Phyllis's orbit pulled Kane further from the people who truly mattered. As Phyllis's demands escalated, so did the intensity of their encounters. Office doors were left slightly ajar, a brush of a hand became a charged touch, and a simple conversation turned into a dangerously intimate dance. The city, blissfully unaware, could be blindsided by the storm brewing behind closed doors. Meanwhile, Phyllis's motives are layered and complex. On the surface, it's about protection, protecting her career, her reputation, and the secrets that could destroy her. But underneath, there's a thrill in the manipulation, a dark satisfaction in controlling someone as principled as Kane. For Phyllis, seduction is a weapon, and Kane is both target and pawn. It's a game of chess, and she has already positioned her pieces with precision, knowing exactly how to provoke desire, fear, and loyalty simultaneously. Complicating matters, other Genoa City residents are beginning to notice subtle cracks. Amanda, Kane's ex-wife and business partner, senses something off in Kane's behavior. His late nights, distracted demeanor, and evasive answers raise suspicions, though she can't pinpoint the cause. Meanwhile, Lily Winters, a trusted friend, notices Phyllis's frequent presence in spaces Kane normally occupies alone. Whispers of secret meetings circulate, fueling rumors and sparking jealousy. Yet, no one suspects the true nature of Kane's predicament. Not just a business compromise, but a personal and emotional entanglement that could have far-reaching consequences. The tension escalates as Phyllis takes her next step. A critical business deal emerges, one that could make or break Kane's professional credibility. Phyllis subtly insinuates that his decision will not only determine his fate, but also expose the secret she's holding over him. Kane, torn between duty and desire, navigates the treacherous waters, feeling the weight of Phyllis's gaze every step of the way. The sexual tension between them becomes almost unbearable, an invisible thread pulling Kane toward choices he would never have considered under normal circumstances. And then comes the turning point, a steamy, dramatic confrontation that will change everything. Kane, feeling trapped and overwhelmed, attempts to resist to assert his moral authority. But Phyllis, ever the strategist, corners him with undeniable evidence of her leverage, her eyes glinting with triumph and something more primal. In a move that shocks even Kane himself, he succumbs, allowing desire to override caution. Their encounter is charged with danger and seduction, a moment that will haunt both of them, leaving Kane questioning his own judgment and Phyllis basking in the thrill of control. It's a betrayal not just of others, but of Kane's own principles. The aftermath promises chaos. Secrets rarely stay buried in Genoa City, and the fallout from Kane's entanglement with Phyllis is bound to be explosive. Relationships hang in the balance. Trust is shattered. And for Kane, the weight of guilt is compounded by the fear that Amanda, Lily, or even his own family could discover the truth. Phyllis, meanwhile, revels in the power she wields, knowing she has not just manipulated, but seduced one of the city's most upright men into complicity. But even she must wonder, how long can this dangerous dance continue before it consumes them both? What makes this story so gripping is the perfect storm of blackmail, seduction, and moral conflict. Kane's struggle embodies the eternal tension between desire and duty, while Phyllis's actions illustrate the seductive danger of unchecked ambition. Every glance, every whispered word, and every subtle maneuver builds suspense, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats. Fans will be riveted by the unfolding drama, torn between empathy for Kane and fascination with Phyllis's ruthless ingenuity. As the city braces for revelation, one thing is certain: nothing in Genoa City will ever be the same. Phyllis's calculated seduction and Kane's precarious descent into moral compromise mark the beginning of a storyline that promises heartbreak, scandal, and shocking twists. Will Kane find redemption, or will Phyllis's power spiral completely out of control? One thing is for sure: Genoa City's most combustible romance is heating up, and the consequences could be explosive. In the end, Phyllis's ruthless blackmail seduces Kane isn't just a story of seduction and betrayal. It's a cautionary tale about desire, manipulation, and the perilous allure of power. In Genoa City, the line between love and treachery is razor thin, and crossing it can have consequences that echo for years. Kane Ashby may have been seduced by Phyllis Summers, but viewers will be left wondering who, ultimately, holds the true power, and who will emerge victorious in a battle of hearts,
In Genoa
minds,
City,
and secrets. Alliances can be fragile, and secrets are the currency of power. But when the alliance between two of the city's most formidable players, Phyllis Summers and Victor Newman, starts to show cracks, the fallout could be explosive. Recent developments on The Young and the Restless have fans on edge, as whispers of betrayal, manipulation, and hidden agendas threaten to upend the already volatile dynamics of Newman Enterprises and the city's social elite. Phyllis Summers has always been a master strategist, balancing ambition and charm in a way few can rival. Her relationship with Victor Newman, the man whose name alone carries influence, wealth, and fear, has been both a boon and a challenge. While Phyllis has often relied on Victor's support to navigate the corporate battlefield, it has become increasingly clear that Victor's own motives are far from transparent. Their partnership, once unshakable, is now under intense scrutiny, both by the characters within Genoa City and the audience at home. The tension first became visible when Phyllis began noticing subtle signs of Victor's controlling tendencies bleeding into areas she once considered her domain. Meetings that used to be collaborative suddenly felt more like interrogations, and Victor's cryptic instructions left Phyllis questioning whether she was being guided or manipulated. Victor has always been difficult to read, but lately his actions feel more like a chess game, and I'm not sure I'm the queen, Phyllis confided to a close friend at Crimson Lights, the city's unofficial hub of gossip and clandestine deals. The alliance was further shaken by the re-emergence of Victor's long-standing enemies, who have been quietly working behind the scenes to destabilize his empire. These foes see Phyllis as both a target and a pawn, a move designed to pressure Victor and expose vulnerabilities in his corporate armor. As Phyllis begins to realize her importance in this larger game, she's forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Her loyalty to Victor may come at a price she is no longer willing to pay. Adding to the turmoil is the ongoing rivalry between Phyllis and other key players in Genoa City, particularly Nikki Newman and Sharon Newman. Their interactions with Victor and Phyllis are complex, filled with layers of personal history, unspoken grudges, and unfulfilled ambitions. Nikki, ever the perceptive matriarch, has already noticed the subtle shifts in Victor's behavior and has begun quietly planting seeds of doubt in Phyllis's mind. Meanwhile, Sharon's own entanglements with the Newman family create additional pressure, leaving Phyllis to navigate a minefield of emotions and strategic decisions simultaneously. One of the most jaw-dropping developments comes from Victor himself. While publicly presenting a united front with Phyllis, he has been secretly maneuvering to consolidate control over Newman Enterprises, subtly undermining Phyllis's influence without her knowledge. The tension reached a boiling point in a boardroom confrontation last week, where Phyllis discovered discrepancies in recent financial reports. Discrepancies that suggest Victor may have been diverting funds and making high-stakes decisions behind her back. Her reaction was a mixture of anger, disbelief, and strategic calculation, as she quickly realized that the very alliance she relied upon for power could be her undoing. This revelation sets the stage for a classic YandR showdown. Phyllis, never one to be underestimated, is now considering her options carefully. Should she confront Victor openly and risk a corporate war that could ruin both of them? Or should she take a subtler approach, gathering evidence and allies to protect her interests while secretly plotting her next move? Her decision is complicated by lingering personal feelings. Her admiration for Victor's cunning and charisma makes her hesitation understandable. But time is not on her side. In Genoa City, hesitation can be fatal, and secrets have a way of surfacing at the worst possible moment. Adding further intrigue, Victor has also begun to suspect that Phyllis may be playing her own game. His own paranoia, fueled by years of surviving corporate battles and family betrayals, makes him hypervigilant. Every decision Phyllis makes is scrutinized, every word she speaks dissected for hidden meaning. This mutual suspicion creates a delicate balance. One false move could ignite a confrontation that would ripple through Newman Enterprises and beyond. Fans watching at home are captivated by the subtle psychological warfare between these two powerhouses. Social media is abuzz with speculation, from #PhyllisVsVictor trending to intense debates over who is truly in control. The show's writers have masterfully layered the narrative, allowing viewers to see both sides of the conflict. Phyllis as the resourceful and ambitious strategist, and Victor as the calculating patriarch whose influence extends far beyond the boardroom. But what makes this storyline truly compelling is its emotional resonance. Phyllis and Victor's alliance isn't just a matter of money and power. It's deeply personal. Both characters carry histories of betrayal, loss, and unfulfilled desires, and these personal stakes amplify the tension. The audience is invested not only in the outcome of corporate maneuverings, but also in the emotional fallout. Will Phyllis emerge stronger, or will Victor's relentless drive prove too formidable? Will their alliance fracture beyond repair, or is there a possibility for reconciliation grounded in mutual respect and strategic necessity? As the saga unfolds, Genoa City's elite watch closely, recognizing that the outcome of this alliance could reshape the city's power structure. The potential consequences extend beyond Newman Enterprises. Friends, family, and rivals alike are forced to consider where their loyalties lie and how best to protect their own interests in a world where alliances are fleeting and secrets are deadly. In the coming weeks, viewers can expect shocking revelations, tense confrontations, and dramatic twists that will keep them on the edge of their seats. Phyllis and Victor's shaky alliance is more than a storyline. It is a reflection of the intricate interplay between ambition, loyalty, and strategy that defines life in Genoa City. Every conversation, every glance, and every secret deal carries weight, promising that no one will come out of this conflict unscathed. Ultimately, the exposure of Phyllis and Victor's alliance reminds fans why The Young and the Restless continues to captivate audiences. It is a show where power and passion collide, where the line between friend and foe blurs, and where the pursuit of success can exact a steep personal toll. For Phyllis and Victor, the question is no longer just about winning. It's about survival, identity, and the ability to outmaneuver those who seek to exploit any weakness. As Phyllis reflects on her next move, one thing is clear. In Genoa City, trust is rare, alliances are temporary, and the most powerful players are those willing to take risks, make bold moves, and confront the consequences head-on. For Victor Newman and Phyllis Summers, the stakes have never been higher, and the game has always been a place of shifting alliances, broken hearts, and high-stakes drama. But lately, one name has been echoing through the corridors of power, secrets, and betrayal more than any other: Phyllis Summers. Once seen as a loyal ally and friend, Phyllis's recent actions have cast a shadow of doubt over her intentions. What seems like charm and calculated cleverness on the surface may, in fact, be a web of manipulation designed to serve her own ambitions, no matter the cost to those around her. For years, Phyllis has straddled the fine line between heartbroken victim and cunning strategist. But lately, the scales appear to have tipped dangerously toward the latter. The latest incidents suggest that Phyllis's choices are no longer about love, loyalty, or even survival. They are about power, control, and the thrill of pulling the strings behind Genoa City's most influential figures. Her maneuvers, subtle yet shocking, are forcing fans and characters alike to question: who is Phyllis really? And what will she risk to get what she wants? It all began with her increasingly tense interactions with the Newman family. Phyllis has always had a complicated history with the Newmans, particularly with Nick and Jack. While previous disputes could be chalked up to romantic entanglements or past grievances, recent events suggest a deeper strategy. Phyllis's recent decisions, especially those that appear to undermine Victor Newman's authority, are not impulsive outbursts. Each step seems meticulously planned, aimed at destabilizing the Newman empire without drawing immediate suspicion. But why? Observers suspect that Phyllis is attempting to carve out her own power base, one that allows her influence without dependency on any one family or man. Her betrayal, however, is not limited to corporate games. It has become painfully personal. Friends, allies, and even lovers have found themselves pawns in Phyllis's calculated plays. Consider her latest entanglement with Billy Abbott, a man torn between loyalty and desire, obligation and temptation. Phyllis's actions have stirred not only jealousy and rivalry but also fear. Billy, who once viewed Phyllis as a safe harbor, is now confronting the uncomfortable reality that he may never fully know her true intentions. Is she there for love? Or is she simply leveraging emotions to achieve her own ends? The ambiguity is deliberate, and that ambiguity is dangerous. Phyllis's recent machinations also reveal her willingness to manipulate perception as much as reality. In Genoa City, information is power, and Phyllis knows it. From strategic leaks to well-timed confessions, she has mastered the art of narrative control. For example, when the office gossip begins to swirl, or when rivals start closing in, Phyllis is often several steps ahead, already reshaping the story to her advantage. Her betrayals are thus double-edged. They create chaos while simultaneously positioning her as the calm, calculating force in the storm. Yet what makes Phyllis's betrayal particularly risky is the human cost. Unlike purely corporate maneuvers, she plays with hearts and trust, emotional currency that is far less predictable. Friends feel abandoned, lovers feel deceived, and families are left to navigate the fallout. Her audacity lies not just in the betrayal itself, but in her confidence that she can walk away relatively unscathed. However, in a city where secrets rarely stay buried, her gamble may be closer to collapse than she realizes. Genoa City is full of characters who thrive on revenge, and every slight against them adds fuel to a potential wildfire. One of the most compelling aspects of Phyllis's story is how it forces viewers and characters alike to confront the nature of trust. How do you discern loyalty in someone whose every action is cloaked in layers of intent? When Phyllis smiles, it is never just a smile. It is a signal, a calculated gesture designed to inspire confidence while masking ulterior motives. When she reaches out with kindness, it is a potential setup for a future betrayal. Genoa City's elite may see the charm, but those paying closer attention sense the danger underneath. Moreover, Phyllis's betrayal is not impulsive, it is strategic. Each move seems designed to provoke reactions that further her agenda. She knows exactly which buttons to push, which fears to exploit, and which alliances to fracture. The consequences, however, are increasingly unpredictable. In the past, her manipulations might have resulted in discreet victories. A deal won, a heart mended, a secret safely hidden. Now, however, every decision carries the risk of exposure, and the fallout could be catastrophic. Even her most loyal allies are beginning to question whether her loyalty is genuine or merely a temporary convenience. Phyllis's motives, when unpacked, reveal a combination of ambition and self-preservation. She seeks control, not just over situations but over perception. She wants to be seen as indispensable, even when her methods endanger relationships and reputations. In many ways, her betrayal is a survival mechanism, honed over years of navigating the volatile politics of Genoa City. But survival, for Phyllis, is no longer enough. She craves mastery, the ability to influence outcomes before others even realize the stakes. Yet, for all her cunning, Phyllis is not invincible. Her recent betrayals carry the seeds of vulnerability. By playing so many sides at once, managing love, loyalty, ambition, and perception, she risks overextension. One misstep could unravel carefully laid plans, and the repercussions could be devastating. In Genoa City, where secrets are exposed with shocking frequency, the possibility of exposure looms large. And when Phyllis's true motives are finally revealed, those she has deceived may seek retribution that is as calculated as her own. Ultimately, Phyllis Summers embodies the tension between charm and cunning, loyalty and manipulation, love and ambition. Her recent actions in Genoa City are a masterclass in risky betrayal, demonstrating both her intelligence and her audacity. But they also reveal the fragile balance she maintains between power and peril. For those watching, and for those caught in her web, the question is no longer whether she will betray them, but when and how, and whether anyone can anticipate the fallout. As Genoa City continues to pulse with intrigue, one thing is certain: Phyllis's true motives are anything but simple. They are layered, dangerous, and fascinating. A reminder that in a city where everyone has secrets, the most shocking revelations often come from those we think we know best. In the coming weeks, her betrayals will continue to ripple outward, shaking relationships, igniting rivalries, and leaving viewers on the edge of their seats, wondering just how far she will go to get what she wants, and who, ultimately, will pay the price.